So you tell them what you're doing, what you need, and they won't necessarily give you a loan, but they'll give you lots of advice, and they don't charge for it. Or you can be your own consultant. Here's how consultants make money. I worked with a consulting firm for a brief period until I realized what bank robbers they were. A consultant comes in and he interviews all the employees and asks, tell me the problems on the loading dock, tell me the problems in shipping, tell me the problem, and he gets all this information. The next day, he gathers up all these questions and all these problems, and he says, now, all you guys on the loading dock, tell me what the solutions are to the problems on the loading dock. If you want to know how to fix it, you ask the guy that's there. So this guy, in those days, this was 1980-something, 82, he would ask these people what their problems were, and then have the business owner pay him to tell him what he found out. Pretty straightforward, pretty bank robbery stuff. In those days he charged $1,000 a day plus expenses. Now it's $5,000 a day plus expenses. You can do the same thing yourself just by asking your employees, what's wrong? What can we do to fix it? And save yourself now $5,000 a day. My son works at Icon up in Logan. He's going to USU. He went to his boss and he said, you know what? If we did this and this and this, it could save Icon $50,000 a month. And his boss said, yeah, but I'd lose my job. So it never went anywhere. 6 months later, which was about 2 months ago, somebody came in and asked my son, internal management, said, are there any ways we could save money in your department? And he said, I have a few suggestions. If we did this and this and this, we could do that, and that would save us about $50,000 a month. If we did this over here and didn't do that, we could save $20,000 a month. And he said, well, why haven't you ever told anybody this? And he said, well, I did, but it never got past my supervisor, and I didn't want to get fired. So they had this meeting, and they called in my son, his supervisor, and her supervisor, and they fired my son's supervisor and her supervisor. And that's the way business is supposed to be run. Ideas can go from the bottom up, but you have to ask for them. It's a very simple concept. When your employees give you good ideas, you don't resent them, you thank them. That's how it works if you were a consultant. Can you do it all? There's no way. Outsourcing can build your business to great heights. There is a value in specializing in what you do. Do what you do well, and then complement that. That's how you grow your business. I'm going to tell you one story before we go on to this. Years ago, I was writing credit reports for a business, and I went to this shirt shop. In those days, 1974, the shirt of the day was called Izod. It was a little alligator here. Looked good when you bought it. One washing, and it looked like, what, a crab? It was no longer an alligator. It was garbage. Well, there was a guy in Salt Lake who decided he was going to start his own shirt brand. So I went in to write this credit report, and I asked Lori's shirt shop, I wrote his, and I left, and I came right back, and I said, Lori, there's another business headquartered here. He said, oh, I forgot to tell you. And over on the side in this place on 3rd South between State and Main, there was, next to what used to be Auerbach's, what's now, I think it's a State, has some offices there. There was a doorway that was about half the size of one of those doors, and I went in, and I was going up these very old rickety stairs. There was no light in this hallway, but there was a white window that was there that was painted over, painted white, and that was the only light in there. And I was going up to meet this guy who was had his own shirt business upstairs. And as I'm going up, he's coming down. There's not room to pass. So he says, may I help you? And I said, yes. I went down to Brad Street, and I pulled out a card and handed it to him. I'm here to write the credit report. I'm looking for Ralph Lauren. He says, well, I'm Ralph Lauren. Not Lauren, by the way. Lauren. We wrote the credit report right there in that dark thing with the light coming in from the outside. The next time I saw him, he was on the cover of Time magazine, and it was said, the $600 million man. Now, what did he do? He created an image of quality. That was one thing he did. He wasn't in the shirt business. He was in the quality business. And he started in Salt Lake City, so he could hire Mormon ladies to come in and sew their fingers off, Go back home and get the kids from school. Yeah, they're all part-time, no insurance, they weren't smokers or drinkers, they didn't do drugs, they weren't ladies of the evening the rest of the time. They were hard workers. And they knew how to run a sewing machine. Quality product. And he created an image. Now I've seen Ralph Lauren paint. I don't think he makes the paint. He outsources it. He created an image and he sells that image. That's what you can do. Talk about dreams. We're just about to finish here. Do you know how to dream? Now here's the thing. I'm going to have you do something with me. I'm going to look down and I'm going to ask you to shake your hands out and take a deep breath and close your eyes. And I want you to come with me into the future when you are, where you have always wanted to be, in owning your own business. You are a success. You're driving down the road and you turn into the business, and there's your business. And as you turn, make that corner, you rock as you go over the curb, and you can hear the squeak of the leather seats in your car, and you can smell the leather. And there's your business in front of you. There's this big, beautiful sign up there. It's got your name on it. Now, I don't know if it's in color or black and white, but there is that sign. And as you get to the front door, you get out of the car, and it's dinging. Smell that leather one more time as you get out. Now you walk into the business, and there inside, there are pictures of all of your successes. There's you shaking hands with the governor, and there's you with Senator Hatch. And there's you with somebody else that's a Democrat. We're not going to use his name. They're all congratulating you on being Small Businessman of the Year. You go down the hall, you go into your business, your personal office, and there is your desk. There's a computer on the side, there's a nice phone there. On the wall are some trophies, some awards, some recognition things that you've done. All the things that recognize what you've put into the business and the quality and the image you've created. You're there for just a second. You know you're late for a meeting down the hall with your employees. And as you go down the hall, you can hear them talking in there. And as you open the door, you look around, and there are some fine people, hard-working people that you trust, and they respect you because you are a leader. You are the one that envisioned this business, and you brought it to pass. And as you start to speak, they listen because they have respect for your ideas. They know that you know the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You know what is out there. Now, as you look around this business, I want you to think of all the things that are there. Employees, the trucks that are outside for delivery, the quality of the product. I don't care if you're in the merchandise business or in construction, you can envision your success. Now, it's time to look up. Here's your assignment. I want you to do this very same thing at home. And I want you to do it where you have 30 minutes. And I want you to write down all the things you saw. And then you look back and you write down what you did starting today to get there. And that is your marching orders. That is your business plan. You combine that with your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you have a very functional business plan. That's it. Are you willing to do all those things? Now you can do this, it's a little self-hypnosis thing. I showed you how to do it the first time. You can do it anytime you want. Sit down and visualize into the future your success and then write it down. And it's not a fairy tale. Okay, the trap that most entrepreneurs get into is they do things right, but they don't do the right things. Technical types do the right things, do things right, but not necessarily the right things. That's why my friend Mike Wise, who invented the PC, attended BYU. That's why 2 years ago when he died in poverty, because he never did the right things. He thought he was so smart that everything would fall into place. Nothing falls into place. You have to lay it in place. Technical types get in trouble. They're often in over their heads. Management is not leadership. Technical experts may not necessarily be good leaders. Leaders are the ones who do the right things, and then they delegate the details to technical types, good managers. Unfortunately, in small business, we often have to be both. We have to wear lots and lots of hats. Somebody called me the day to do a survey and want to know all the things I do in the business. There just wasn't enough room on their form to put down everything I do. Now, it's time for commencement. The smaller business that we are involved with is so important. The economy of the world is dependent upon the U.S. economy. We make no apologies for that. The dynamic part of the U.S. economy is small business. We create the jobs. We innovate. We have the creativity. Now we're going to come to this part of the commencement here. The meaning of life. I know you've all heard this before. Who am I? In business, you are an entrepreneur. Where did you come from? You came from a totally unique background. Your education, your skills, your talents, your ambitions, your heritage is all unique to you. There is nobody like you. Why are you here? What does life have in store? I'll tell you what it has. I believe that you came here to succeed. If any of you want to go into business to fail, I can make it painless. Send me all your money and make it quick. Okay? But you didn't do that. That's not why you go into business. You come into school, and you're going to graduate and work hard to succeed. Nobody goes into business to fail. And I believe in this life we were meant to succeed, but I don't think it was ever meant to be easy. Success does not come by accident. Success requires you to plot a course. And the truth is, the future is in each of your hands. But you have to do the right things to succeed. That completes the 90-Minute MBA. Now you have the 90-Minute MBA degree. Do you know what the symbol for degree is? It's an elevated 0. Now what that means is, unless you do something with what you know, it will be worthless. So the challenge isn't what you've learned, it's what you do with it. Thank you.